And now it's time for our drama series this week, A Little Twist of Dahl, a selection of classic tales by master of the bizarre, Roald Dahl, narrated by Charles Dance. And today's story is Taste, starring Jonathan Hyde.
Whenever Richard Pratt dined with Mike Schofield, they had a little bet. Richard was a well-known gourmet and an expert on wine, so Mike would challenge him to identify the claret he served with the main course.
Unmistakable. Quite unmistakable.
You're bluffing, Richard. You must be. You can't have got it already.
The steak, which never varied, was an entire case of the wine itself.
Warm and well-mannered with a surprisingly impish sense of humour. It's an Haut-Briand, isn't it? An Haut-Briand 45.
Although Richard always guessed correctly, Mike never seemed to mind. After all, as he liked to point out to his wife later on...
At least it proves the wine I serve's good enough to recognise. And anyway, there's always next time.
More than 3 months passed before Richard Pratt came to dinner again. At 7 o'clock precisely, Mike checked that his housekeeper had set the table to his satisfaction, then joined his wife and daughter in the drawing room.
You look lovely, Margaret. Absolutely lovely.
Thank you, dear.
You could do with making a start on getting changed, though, Louise. Richard will be here soon.
Honestly, Daddy, you're so old-fashioned. No one dresses for dinner anymore.
It doesn't do any harm to make a little effort once in a while. After all, it isn't every night we dine with Richard Pratt.
No, thank God.
Louise.
I'm sorry, Daddy, but I don't like him. He gives me the creeps.
That's enough, Louise. Please just do as your father says.
Oh, very well. I don't know why you take your dinner parties so seriously, though, Daddy. I really don't.
As a matter of fact, it was simple. Although Mike was surrounded by the trappings of success, he felt somehow inadequate.
Well, I hope everyone's enjoying the Moselle. It's the perfect wine to have before claret.
He earned his living as a stockbroker, and like everyone who works in the city, he knew that fundamentally he was little more than a jumped-up bookmaker.
Of course, a lot of people serve Rhenish, but that's barbaric. A glass of Rhenish can ruin the taste of a delicate claret.
His dinner parties, however, enabled him to project an air of worldly sophistication. They enabled him to mix with men like Richard Pratt, and they enabled him, at the start of each one, to show off his knowledge of wine.
If you're going to serve claret, then you've only one choice. You've got to start with a Moselle. Isn't that right, Richard?
I'm sorry?
Mike was just talking about the wine.
Oh, was he really? I didn't hear a word. Oh, that's what comes of sitting me opposite your daughter. She's so enchanting, I forget where I am.
Despite himself, Mike felt a little disappointed, and his spirits weren't fully restored until his housekeeper came in with the main course, an enormous roast of beef.
Put it here at the head of the table, will you please?
Certainly, Mr. Schofield.
I'll carve, and then I think...
And he rubbed his hands together in anticipation.
And then I think I'll fetch the claret.
Reinvigorated by the prospect of a new wine to gamble with, Mike practically bounced into the room where it had been standing for the last 24 hours with its cork out.
Excellent. Chambrade to perfection.
When Richard Pratt had first started coming to dinner, he and Mike had gone all over the house trying to find the best place for a wine to acquire room temperature. In the end, they had discovered the perfect spot, the top of one of the filing cabinets in Mike's study.
The big polished oak one, next to the door.
Holding the bottle of claret as delicately as he would a newborn baby, Mike gently eased it into a little wicker wine basket. As he turned it to hide its label, he smiled to himself in satisfaction.
You won't guess this one, not in a million years.
Tell me, Louise, have you had a chance to read my new book on the great pre-war vintages?
Not yet, I'm afraid.
Pity. The critics say it's a masterpiece, but they're a jaded lot. I'd welcome the views of someone younger and more fresh.
Richard looked up as Mike walked softly back into the room. He glanced at the bottle of claret Mike was cradling in both hands, and his eyebrows rose in a slight supercilious arch.
I warn you, Richard, this one is rather tricky. I won't force you to bet on it if you don't want.
I take it that means it's from one of the smaller vineyards?
Maybe it is, and maybe it isn't.
But it's a good year, one of the grapes?
Yes, that I can guarantee.
Then it shouldn't be too hard to identify.
You mean you want to bet?
Certainly.
Good, excellent. Shall we say the usual, a case of the wine itself?
If you're so confident, perhaps you'd care to increase the stake? How about, I don't know, 50 cases?
50? Don't be absurd.
You're the one who thinks I won't guess it.
Listen, old man, I'll quite happily bet you whatever you like. I just don't want to take advantage, that's all.
But you are willing to increase the stake?
That's what I said. I'll take any bet you care to mention.
I see. In that case, I'll tell you what I want you to bet me.
Slowly he looked at everyone else in the room. At Margaret, at Louise, even at the housekeeper who was hovering uncertainly by the door. He seemed to be reminding them that they were witness to the offer.
I want you to bet me the hand of your daughter in marriage.
Hey, stop it! That isn't funny.
Oh, don't worry, dear. They're only joking.
I'm not joking.
For heaven's sake, Richard, you're being ridiculous.
You said you'd bet me whatever I wanted.
Well, I meant money.
Well, then it's a pity you didn't say money. Still, if you want to go back on your word...
No, it isn't a question of going back on my word. It's a no bet anyway. You don't have a daughter to put up, so you can't match the stake.
Mike!
I'll put up anything you like. My house, for example. How about my house?
The townhouse or the country house?
Both if you wish. You can keep them for yourself or sign them over to Louise.
At this point, Mike suddenly hesitated. Louise noticed and looked at him with alarm.
Sure you're not suggesting we should take this silly bet?
No, of course not. But perhaps we should at least consider it.
Stop it, Daddy! I refuse to be gambled on.
Quite right, dear.
Think about it, though. If Richard loses, I'll be able to give you 2 lovely houses.
But what if he wins?
He won't. Not this time. I guarantee it.
He's won before.
That's because I made it too easy for him. But this time, I've chosen a claret from a tiny vineyard surrounded by a dozen others of the same size. Even the world's greatest connoisseurs can't tell one from the other. It's impossible.
No, Daddy. I don't like it.
Neither do I.
Imagine it, Louise. In less than 10 minutes, you could be a woman of property, set up for life.
He was pushing her hard, standing right over her as she sat in her chair.
Take the bet, Louise. Go on. Take it now before Richard changes his mind.
Oh, Daddy, I don't know. Are you sure I can't lose?
Great heavens, girl, I've said so, haven't I?
All right, Daddy. As long as you're sure.
Good. Then it's a bet.
Yes, it's a bet.
Mike quickly filled everyone's glass with claret and sat himself down. Richard, aware that he had an unusually attentive audience, made a great show of analysing the wine's colour before raising it to his nose.
An interesting bouquet. Flowery, but not at all familiar. You've set me quite a task.
Richard Pratt was about 50 and did not possess a pleasant face. It was dominated by his mouth, which, with its pendulous lower lip, resembled nothing so much as a massive, wet-rimmed keyhole.
And now for the all-important first taste.
He drained his glass of half its wine and began noisily swilling it from cheek to cheek, passing it over his tongue and even on occasion chewing at it like bread. Then, after more than a minute, he swallowed it down.
Quite delightful. Gentle and gracious with an almost feminine finish. But what can it be? Normally I'd jump right in and guess the vineyard, but I must be careful now that the stakes are so high.
And looking across the table, he treated Louise to a knowing little smile that made her skin crawl.
Now let us begin with the region. It's too light and frothy to be from Saint-Emilion or Grave, therefore it must be a Médoc. But from which commune in the Médoc does it come?
He sat back in his chair and steepled his fingers together.
The bouquet is insufficiently violent for it to be a Margaux. Could it then be a Pauillac? No, I don't think so. It lacks the dusty, pithy flavour of a Pauillac. Its taste is demure and bashful with a consoling quality one associates with a Saint-Julien. Of course, that's it. This wine is a Saint-Julien.
Goodness, I need a cigarette.
Put that away at once. Smoking at table is a disgusting habit.
Louise looked at him briefly and blew out the match, but she left the unlit cigarette dangling defiantly between her fingers.
Now then, where were we? Ah, yes. We know it's a Saint-Julien from the Médoc region. It would help if we could establish the growth. It's clearly not from a first-growth vineyard, or even a second. It lacks the requisite power. But could it be a third?
With ostentatious slowness, he took another sip.
No, it's a fourth growth from a good year. Perhaps even a great one, such as 1934.
He returned the glass to his sagging lower lip, and this time, repulsively, licked at the wine with his tongue.
There's something very idiosyncratic about that finish. A teasing, astringent quality that's only found in one place. The fourth-growth vineyards around Bechevel.
He glanced over at Mike, who was leaning further and further across the table with his mouth slightly open.
I don't think it's an actual Bechevel, mind you, but it must be from close by. Chateau Talbot would be an obvious choice, and it certainly fits the bill. Could it be a Talbot? Yes, I believe it could.
Everyone, even the housekeeper, was finding it hard to breathe as Richard took one final lingering sip.
No, I'm mistaken. The fruit of a Talbot is closer to the surface, and if that's the case, there's only one other choice. This wine, my friends, is a Chateau Branner du Cru. A Chateau Branner du Cru, 1934.
He looked expectantly at Mike, waiting for him to turn the bottle in its little wicker basket and expose the label.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, it is.
Come on, Daddy. Turn round the bottle and let's have a peek. I want my two houses.
Just a minute, Louise. Wait. Just a minute.
Mike, whatever's the matter?
No, keep out of this, Margaret. Will you please?
Daddy, you don't mean he hasn't guessed it right?
I'll tell you what, Richard. Why don't you and I slip off to the room next door and have a little chat?
I don't want a little chat. I want to see the label on that bottle. What are you waiting for? Go on and turn it round.
He had the self-assured arrogance of a man who knows he's a winner, and he seemed about to turn thoroughly nasty when suddenly the housekeeper, the quiet, ever-watchful housekeeper, stepped forward.
Excuse me, Mr. Pratt. I believe these are yours.
And she handed him a pair of large, horn-rimmed reading glasses.
Are they? Perhaps they are.
Oh, yes, sir. There's no question about it. I found them in Mr. Schofield's study earlier. You must have left them behind when you popped in there, on your own, before dinner.
As the implication of the housekeeper's words sank in, Mike felt a sudden rush of blood to his face, and he slowly stood up.
You found them in my study. Whereabouts in my study?
The housekeeper, a tiny little woman of about 70, drew herself up to her full height and tightened her lips together in grim satisfaction.
They were on top of the filing cabinet, sir. The big, polished oak one, next to the door.
And another one of those on Christmas morning, which is tomorrow, in case you didn't know. Today's story is set in New York, and it's called The Way Up to Heaven.
Excuse me, Walker. What time is it?
9:10, Mrs. Foster.
9:10?
Mrs. Foster looked at her butler, and her eye began to twitch.
Oh, I'm going to be late. I just know it.
Although she was not otherwise a particularly nervous woman, Mrs. Foster had an almost pathological fear of missing a train, a plane, or even a theatre curtain. The mere thought of being late on such occasions would fill her with panic, and then it would start, a small, aggravating twitch in the corner of her left eye.
Has the car come yet?
Yes, Mrs. Foster. I'm just going to put the luggage in now.
Oh, it takes at least an hour to get to the airport. I'd have left already if it weren't for Eugene. Oh, what on earth could be keeping him?
I advised Mr. Foster that you needed to leave by 9:15 at the latest. I'm sure he'll be down directly.
Although her husband may perhaps have been entitled to feel irritated by his wife's foolishness, there was no excuse for him to increase her suffering by deliberately keeping her waiting.
Not, of course, that I think that's what he does.
And yet, whenever they were due to go somewhere, his timing was so accurate,
A minute late, or maybe 2.
and his manner so bland, that it often seemed as though he was subjecting her to a nasty little torture for his own private amusement.
I've finished loading the luggage.
Mrs. Foster briefly stopped pacing as her butler came back.
Thank you, Walker. What time is it now?
18 minutes past.
Oh, that's it then. I'm done for. I'm bound to miss my flight.
I'm sure you'll still have plenty of time, Mrs. Foster, and before you know it, you'll be touching down in Paris.
I hope so.
I expect you're looking forward to seeing Miss Ellen again, and your grandchildren, of course.
I wish I could stay with them forever. But Eugene would never agree to us living in France.
No, Mrs. Foster.
Still, it was good of him to let me go and visit them on my own for 6 weeks, wasn't it?
Yes, Mrs. Foster.
I just wish he hadn't insisted on coming to the airport to see me off.
She was about to ask the time again when suddenly she hesitated.
Listen, Walker, the elevator.
Ah, yes, the elevator.
Go and fetch Mr. Foster's coat. He must be coming down.
Not many houses warrant their own private elevators, but the Fosters' New York mansion was so vast and tall that one had been included. It was old now and unreliable, and it was probably quicker to take the stairs, but Mr. Foster generally insisted on using it, especially when he knew his wife was late.
Hurry up, you stupid thing. Can't you go any faster?
Mrs. Foster looked up at the indicator as slowly, oh, so slowly, it tracked the elevator's progress.
3rd floor. 2nd floor. 1st floor. Bingo.
The door slid open and Mr. Foster stepped out.
I suppose we'll need to be leaving fairly soon if we're going to make the airport.
Yes, dear, yes. Let Walker help you on with your coat.
Oh, just a moment. I want to wash my hands.
You want to what?
Oh, I can't leave the house without washing my hands, now can I? You go and wait in the car. I don't suppose I shall be very long.
Tell me, driver, do you think we can still make it to the airport for an 11 o'clock flight?
Yeah, I guess so, lady, but we need to get going.
I know.
The muscle in the corner of her eye was twitching madly now, and the eyes themselves were filled with tears.
Oh, why doesn't he come?
To her relief, she saw her husband leave the house and walk slowly down the steps outside. He paused for a moment to sniff the cold morning air, then climbed in alongside her.
Well, it's starting to get foggy. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if your flight didn't end up being cancelled.
Please, Eugene, don't.
They didn't speak again until the car had crossed over the bridge to Long Island.
I've arranged everything with the servants. I've given them half pay for 6 weeks and sent them home. I told Walker I'd wire him when we wanted them back.
Yes, dear, he said.
I shall be moving into the club. I'll visit the house from time to time to pick up the mail, but I'm rather looking forward to staying at the club.
As they drove on, the fog began to thicken, and the car had to slow
Oh,
down.
no. I'm sure I'll miss my flight now. What time is it?
Oh, stop fussing. It doesn't matter anyway. It's bound to be cancelled. You've had an entirely wasted morning.
Did Mrs. Foster detect a note of pleasure in his voice? She turned to look at him, but she couldn't be sure.
Of course, if by some miracle it shouldn't be cancelled, then I entirely agree with you. You'll certainly miss it. You may as well resign yourself to that.
She turned away and peered at the fog outside the window. She knew, though, that he was still watching her.
Won't you?
Won't I what?
Miss it. We can't drive fast in this. There, I knew it. We're stuck.
No, sir. We made it. This is the airport.
Without saying another word, Mrs. Foster got out and hurried inside. She spoke to a clerk at the ticket desk and then returned to her husband, who was still waiting for her in the car.
My flight's been postponed.
Huh. I told you.
I said postponed, Eugene, not cancelled. They're expecting the fog to clear later, so they want me to stay at the airport.
Oh.
There's no point in you waiting around as well, though, is there?
None whatsoever. Get out the luggage, driver. Then you can take me back to the city.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Eugene. I'll write you when I get to Paris.
Yes, goodbye, my dear. Don't expect me to write you back.
The next few hours were a sort of nightmare. Mrs. Foster sat on a bench as near to the airline counter as possible, waiting for news and dreading that she'd have to return to her husband. When at last the loudspeakers announced what was happening, she sought out a telephone and rang home.
Hello?
I'm glad I caught you. I thought you might be at the club by now.
Yes, I was just on the verge of leaving.
My flight's been postponed until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to find myself a room somewhere for the night.
What? When you've got a large house here at your disposal? Don't be so stupid.
But it's empty, Eugene. The servants have all gone.
Then I'll stay with you myself.
There's no food in the house, though. Nothing.
Then grab a sandwich before you come back. Oh, for pity's sake, woman. Why must you always make such a fuss?
Mr. Foster emerged from his study when he heard his wife come in.
How was Paris?
Very amusing, dear.
Yes. I've ordered the same driver to come again at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, thank you, dear. I hope you won't bother coming to the airport this time to see me off.
No, I don't think I will.
Good.
I'll let you drop me at the club, though, on your way through.
But, Eugene, the club is miles away in the other direction.
What's the matter? Don't you want to drop me at the club?
Of course I do, but...
That's settled then. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And before his wife could say another word, he stepped into the elevator. The door slid shut, and he vanished from view.
Have you made me any coffee?
Oh, no, dear. I thought you could have breakfast at the club.
Mrs. Foster had been pacing back and forth for half an hour when her husband came down at 9:05.
The car's outside, ready and waiting.
And her eye was starting to twitch.
What about your luggage?
It's at the airport, remember?
Well, in that case, we'd better get going.
Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you.
I'll just fetch some cigars and then I'll be with you.
What time is it, driver?
About 9:15.
10 minutes later, Mr. Foster came out and got into the car.
I think you may be lucky. The fog's starting to clear.
As quickly as you can, please, driver. I'm late.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a moment, driver. Oh, I think I've lost something.
What? What have you lost?
A little present for Ellen. I'm sure I had it in my hand.
I didn't see any present. What did it look like?
A little box wrapped in white paper. Oh, let me see.
Slowly and methodically, he began searching through his pockets.
I meant to give it to you yesterday.
Look at the time, Eugene. Can't you just mail it?
Oh, damn and blast. I must have left it in my bedroom. I shan't be a moment.
Don't, Eugene, don't. It's probably only another one of your silly combs anyway. You're always giving her combs.
And what's wrong with combs, may I ask?
Nothing, Eugene. I just...
Stay here. I'm going to fetch it.
Oh.
With a little sob of despair, she watched as her husband went back to the house and shut the door.
Can we still get to the airport in an hour?
Just about, lady.
At this point, Mrs. Foster suddenly spotted the corner of something white protruding from the crack of the seat where her husband had been sitting. She reached over and pulled out a small paper-wrapped box, noticing at the same time how far down it was wedged, as though someone had given it a deliberate shove.
Here it is. I found it. Run to the house, driver. Quickly. Run and fetch my husband.
All right, lady, but I'll need the key.
Don't worry. I'll go myself. I know exactly where he'll be.
Mrs. Foster hurried out of the car and up the steps to the front door. She slid the key into the lock and was about to turn it when suddenly she stopped. Her head came up, and she stood completely motionless, as though she were listening to a sound coming from deep within the house.
You all right, lady?
She moved closer to the door, and for 10, 15, 20 seconds she carried on listening. Then all at once she seemed to settle on a course of action. Her face hardened, her mouth tightened, and pulling out her key, she marched purposefully back to the car.
Get going, driver. I can't wait a moment longer.
But what about your husband?
I was only giving him a lift. He'll have to call a cab.
Are you sure?
Perfectly. Now will you please stop talking and do your job? I've got a plane to catch for Paris.
Everyone was very sad when, after 6 weeks, Mrs. Foster had to return to America. Everyone, that is, except Mrs. Foster herself. As she kissed her grandchildren goodbye, her manner seemed to imply a return visit in the not-too-distant future.
Hello? Is anybody home?
Her house, when she got back, was cold and dark and empty.
And look, 6 weeks unopened mail on the mat.
The air was also heavy, with a most unpleasant odour.
Foul and rotten, like the stench of decay.
If she was at all surprised at finding the house deserted, she didn't let it show. Instead, she peered further into the gloom of the hallway, as though trying to confirm a suspicion. Then she went through to the study.
Hello, this is 9 East 62nd Street. I think I'm going to need a repairman.
Her voice, as she sat making a telephone call, was calm and relaxed.
It seems to be stuck between the first and second floors. I don't know how long it's been broken because I've been away, but I guess about 6 weeks.
After she finished speaking, she went and examined herself in the mirror over the mantelpiece. She thought she looked at least 10 years younger.
And not a hint of a twitch.
She briefly adjusted her hair, and then, with a tight little smile, she went to wait for the man who'd be coming soon to repair the elevator.
Today's story is The Hitchhiker.
When his latest novel became a bestseller, Andrew Pym celebrated by treating himself to a new toy.
A great big glossy silvery blue BMW.
It was a thing of beauty, and Andrew loved it. The seats were upholstered in wonderfully soft leather, the windows opened electronically, and so did the sunroof. And although the engine grunted and growled impatiently at slow speeds, when it hit 60...
Oh, when it hits 60, it purrs contentedly like a well-fed cat.
The engine was sounding exceptionally happy one fine June morning as Andrew drove himself to London. He had the window open and was enjoying the sensation of the breeze ruffling his hair when suddenly he saw a man thumbing a lift.
It's no good, I'll have to stop.
It was a point of principle with Andrew never to refuse a hitchhiker. He'd often hitchhiked himself when he was younger, and he knew how dispiriting it was to watch one expensive car after another flash by without stopping. He gently eased over to the side of the road, and the hitchhiker poked his head through the open window.
Going to London, Governor?
Yes. Jump in.
Thank you very much.
Once he was inside, Andrew drove on.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
The hitchhiker didn't answer. Andrew glanced over at him and couldn't help noticing that his appearance was curiously rat-like. His eyes were dark and quick and clever like a rat's, and the tops of his ears seemed to rise slightly to a point.
Which part of London are you headed for?
I'm going straight through it and out the other side. I'm making my way to Epsom. It's Derby Day.
So it is. I wish I were coming with you. I love betting on the horses.
I never touch them. I don't even watch them run. It's a silly, stupid business.
Well, why are you going to Epsom, then? What, do you help work the betting machines or something?
And spend all day printing out tickets for mugs? You must be joking. Where's the fun in that?
I'm sorry. It's none of my business what you do. The problem is, I'm a writer, and writers are all very nosy.
You write books for a living?
Yes.
I respect people who do that. It's a skilled trade. I'm in a skilled trade myself.
Really?
Well, the secret of success is to learn to be very, very good at something that's very, very hard to do.
Well, like you mean?
Yes, mine like you.
Well, how do you know I'm any good at what I do? There are plenty of bad writers out there.
Oh, you wouldn't be driving around in a car like this if you weren't any good. It must have cost you a pretty package.
It wasn't cheap.
What could you do flat out?
129 miles an hour.
Rubbish.
Beg your pardon?
129? Who told you that?
The people who made it.
Well, car makers are a bunch of liars. Their cars never do what they say.
This one will.
Prove it.
I'm sorry?
Go on. I tell you, prove it.
All right. I will.
Andrew knew that just beyond the roundabout at Chalfont St. Peter, there was a long, straight stretch of dual carriageway. As soon as he reached it, he pressed his foot down on the accelerator.
That's it, Governor. Show me what you can do.
But just you watch the speedometer.
The car leapt forward as though it had been stung. In 10 seconds or so, it was doing 90.
Lovely. Keep going.
Andrew pressed the accelerator to the floor and held it there.
100. We're doing 100.
They flashed past several cars and lorries as they hurtled down the outside lane.
105.
A green Mini, a cream-coloured Citroen.
110.
A white Land Rover, a truck with a container on the back.
115.
A purple Volkswagen full of gaping kids.
120. Don't stop now.
And then suddenly...
Oh, no. That's torn it.
What is it? What's happened?
Well, look.
Andrew indicated the rear-view mirror, in which a policeman on a motorbike could be seen rapidly advancing. He must have been doing at least 130 as he passed Andrew's car, and he took his time slowing down. Finally, he pulled into the side of the road, and Andrew pulled in behind him.
Oh, Lord. What have I done?
Like an executioner approaching his victim, the policeman walked slowly towards the car.
Where is she then?
I'm sorry, officer?
The pregnant woman in the back. I assume you're rushing to get her to hospital.
Oh, I see. Yes, very good.
Or maybe your house is on fire and you're hurrying home to save your loved ones. Is that it?
No, officer.
Oh, then you're in a whole lot of trouble, aren't you? Do you know what the speed limit is in this country?
70.
Do you know what you were doing just now?
Well, I couldn't say exactly.
120. That's 50 miles an hour over the limit.
The policeman pushed his head further into the car, and Andrew noticed that his breath smelled of fried onions.
Well, well, well. And who might you be?
He's a hitchhiker. I'm giving him
I
a
didn't
lift.
ask you. I asked him.
What's the matter, officer? Have I done something wrong?
I wouldn't be at all surprised. Out the car, pair of you.
Why do I have to get out? I'm only a passenger.
You're a witness too, aren't you? Anyway, I don't like your face.
As soon as they were outside, the policeman demanded Andrew's driving license. He then produced a book of tickets from the left-hand breast pocket of his tunic and began noting down the details.
I hope you realise that you're looking at a very heavy fine.
Yes, officer.
You won't be driving that fancy car of yours for a good few years either. And you'll be lucky if you're not locked up into the bargain.
Locked up?
Yes. Thrown in jail with all the other criminals.
With a little grunt of satisfaction, he tore out the top copy of the ticket. Before he handed it to Andrew, he checked that all the information had come through clearly on his own carbon copy. Then he returned the book to his breast pocket and walked over to the hitchhiker.
Name?
Jimmy Fish.
Can you prove it?
Yes, officer. You're in luck. I've got my own driving licence on me.
Give it here, then.
The policeman took out a little black notebook from his other breast pocket and began to write.
Occupation?
I'm a hod carrier.
A hod carrier?
Yes, H-O...
I know how to spell it. Who's your employer?
I don't have one, officer. I'm out of work.
The policeman wrote all this down in his notebook, then put it back in his breast pocket and fastened the button.
I'll be checking up on you when I get back to the station. And I shouldn't be in the least bit surprised to find we had you on file.
Oh, you're a hard man, officer.
You'll both be getting a summons soon to appear in court. And frankly, I won't be sorry to see you there.
The policeman turned away, remounted his motorcycle, and after giving the starter a quick kick, roared off up the road.
Oh, the
thank heavens that's over.
Come on, Governor. There's no point in hanging around.
Andrew gave a weary nod of agreement, and they both walked back to the car.
As soon as we reach London, I'm going to see my solicitor.
He was holding on tight to the steering wheel and checking the speedometer from time to time.
Well, they won't send you to prison if that's what you're worried about.
No?
All they'll do is give you a great big fine that makes your eyes water and tear up your licence.
Oh, thank you. That's very comforting.
It's better than being banged up in chokey.
Incidentally, why did you lie to that policeman?
Lie to him?
You told him you were an unemployed hod carrier. That's hardly a skilled trade.
Well, it doesn't pay to tell a copper everything.
So what is it you do for a living?
Blimey, you writers really are a nosy lot. You're dying to know, aren't you?
To be honest, I couldn't care less.
Well, you're the one who's lying now. You're thinking, he must be in a very strange trade if he won't say. And you're right, Governor. I am in a strange trade. The strangest of them all.
He produced a tin of tobacco and a little packet of papers and began rolling himself a cigarette. Andrew watched him out of the corner of his eye and was astonished at how quickly he performed such an intricate task.
That's amazing. Quite amazing.
In less than 5 seconds, the cigarette was between his lips. A lighter appeared as if from nowhere, the cigarette was lit, and the lighter vanished again.
Enjoyed watching that, did you?
I've never seen anything like it.
Do you know how I was able to do it?
How?
I have fantastic fingers. These fingers are faster than any pianist's.
Are you a pianist?
Don't be daft. Any twerp can learn to play the piano, but not 1 in a million can learn what I do.
How about a card player? Yes, you organise card games and deal yourself unbeatable hands.
Card sharping's a dirty, rotten business. I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole.
All right, then, I give up.
Do you recognise this?
The hitchhiker suddenly held up a black leather belt with a distinctive brass buckle.
Just a minute. Surely that's mine. But it can't be. Where on earth did you get it?
Where'd you think? From the top of your trousers?
Andrew touched his waist. Sure enough, the belt was gone.
But that's impossible. I'd have seen you do it, or felt you doing it.
You didn't, though, did you? And has anyone round here lost a shoelace?
Oh, for goodness sake. I didn't even see you bend down.
Of course not. And do you know why?
Because you have fantastic fingers?
Exactly. You catch on fast.
The hitchhiker sat back and sucked on his freshly rolled cigarette. He seemed pleased that Andrew had been so impressed by his 2 little tricks.
What time is it?
There's a clock on the dashboard.
Oh, I don't trust clocks in cars. What time is it by your watch?
Well, it's at...
Oh, no. Nice bit of stuff, this. 18 carat, easy to flog.
Yes, well, I'll have it back, if you don't mind.
Oh, there's no need to pull a face, Governor. I wouldn't nick anything from you. You're my pal.
Pleased to hear it.
I'm just trying to answer your question, that's all. You asked what I do for a living, so I'm showing you.
What else have you got of mine?
Nothing very much. Just a key ring and a diary. Oh, and a couple of tenors and a handful of coins.
I see.
And a pencil and a bag of sweets. And a letter from your publisher.
What?
Oh, yes. And this lovely sapphire ring.
What? That's my wife's. I'm taking it to be repaired.
18th century, if I'm not mistaken, from the reign of George III.
He carefully placed it on the top of the dashboard with all the other items.
So you're a pickpocket?
Oh, don't call me that. A pickpocket's a nasty, vulgar creature who lifts things from little old ladies. I'm a fingersmith.
A fingersmith?
Silversmiths are at the top of their profession, and so are goldsmiths. Well, I'm at the top of mine. So, I'm a fingersmith.
And that's why you're off to the races?
Precisely. Race meetings are easy. You stand around waiting for the winners to draw their money, then you follow them and help yourself. I never take anything from the losers, though, nor the poor, just the rich and lucky.
Well, that's good of you. And how often do you get caught?
Me? Get caught? Never. It's pickpockets who get caught, not fingersmiths.
Aren't you worried, though? I mean, that policeman's going to be checking up on you when he gets back to the station.
No, he's not, Governor. And he won't be getting you a dirty grapevine either. Not unless he's got a very good memory.
What's memory got to do with it? He's got all our details written down in those wretched books of his.
The hitchhiker looked at him and gave a sly, ratty little grin.
Which books would they be, Governor? This one?
What?
Or this one?
At the hitchhiker's suggestion, they pulled over to the side of the road and built themselves a bonfire.
I don't know. Aren't policemen getting careless nowadays?
Andrew watched with satisfaction as the two little notebooks both went up in flames.
You are a genius. You do realise that, don't you? A thoroughgoing genius.
The hitchhiker nodded in agreement and gave another grin.
I know I am. Thank you, Governor. It's nice to be appreciated.
Today's story is Edward the Conqueror, starring Celia Imrie and Geoffrey Whitehead.
Edward was pitching brambles onto a bonfire when he saw his wife coming down the garden towards him.
Edward, didn't you hear me calling? Lunch is ready.
Good. I've worked up quite an appetite.
I hope you haven't been overdoing it.
My dear Louisa, will you please stop treating me like an old man of 80?
I'm sorry, Eddie. It's just... Oh, look, Edward! A cat!
Louisa darted forward and scooped up a large silvery grey Tom who was sitting close enough to the bonfire to be practically touching it.
You silly thing! You'll get yourself burned.
She gently placed the cat on the edge of the lawn and began stroking his long, silky fur.
Isn't he a gorgeous colour? He must be quite old, though. He's got little bumps all over his face.
Go home, you stupid creature. We don't want you.
What's the matter, Edward? Don't you like him?
You know my opinion of cats.
Well, I think he's beautiful. I do hope he stays a little while.
Oh, it's out of the question. He isn't our cat. He belongs to someone else. If he's still hanging around this afternoon, you can take him to the police. They'll make sure he gets home.
After lunch, Edward returned to the garden, and Louisa went through to the living room. To her astonishment, she found the cat curled up on the sofa, gently sleeping.
You little devil! How did you get in?
She knew she ought to carry him outside, but she was glad of the company, so she gave his ears a brief tickle and went over to the piano.
I hope you like music. It's time for my afternoon recital.
Louisa had once been a piano teacher,
Till Edward decided it interfered with my chores.
and she liked to keep in practice by playing a little concert for herself each afternoon.
We'll have some Liszt and some Schumann and some Mendelssohn, but first I think we'll start with a little Bach.
She'd only played a few bars when something extraordinary happened. The cat, which had been quietly slumbering, suddenly sat up and stared at her with pale, glittering eyes.
What's the matter? Did I frighten you?
No, it wasn't that. The cat had his head slightly cocked to one side, as though listening, and Louisa thought she detected a certain eagerness about his posture and a little frown of concentration on his small, delicate features.
I've seen that look before, on the face of concert-goers who are giving a piece their full attention.
She finished playing the Bach, watching all the while the cat's curiously human response to the music. Then she turned to the next item on her programme.
The third Liebestraum of Franz Liszt.
The effect on the cat was startling. As soon as he'd heard the first few notes, his entire body began to quiver with excitement. He leapt from the sofa and ran over to join Louisa on the long piano stool, where he sat gently swaying and purring ecstatically, his eyes aglow in dreamy rapture.
Well, I never did. So you prefer Liszt to Bach, do you? It's a little vulgar of you, if I may say so. Oh, don't look so put out. Liszt could be perfectly charming, too, in his way. Let's see what you make of Schumann.
Louisa had barely begun playing before the cat jumped down from the stool and slowly walked back to the sofa.
This is getting interesting. Interesting and rather strange.
He continued to listen with his head on one side, but he seemed somehow less enthused by the new piece, and even a little disappointed.
Oh, I don't know what's wrong with Schumann, I really don't. But you're my guest, and if you want more Liszt, you shall have it.
As she began a second work by Liszt, she watched the cat's reaction. His whiskers started to twitch, and he jumped down onto the carpet where, for a few moments, he stood listening attentively, his eyes half closed in appreciation. Then, with a slow, silky stride, he walked over to the piano and resumed his seat next to Louisa.
Oh, you astonishing creature. You marvellous thing.
Who's a marvellous thing?
Oh.
Louisa hadn't heard her husband coming in through the French windows, and she leapt up in surprise.
Edward, darling, you won't believe what's been happening.
I thought we'd decided to take that cat to the police.
No, Edward, you decided, but we can't possibly now.
Edward didn't much care for the note of rebellion in his wife's voice, but he lit a cigarette and said nothing.
You see, he's a musical cat. He can appreciate music.
Stop talking nonsense and get me some tea. I'm thirsty.
Well, you don't understand. How could you? But something amazing has been happening. Something momentous.
Is that right?
I'm not sure how to interpret it myself, but shall I tell you what I think?
If you must.
I think it's entirely possible that we are at this very moment in the presence of...
Yes?
You'll laugh at me, I'm sure, and I can't really blame you. But I honestly think we are currently in the presence of...
Whom? In the presence of whom?
Of Franz Liszt himself.
Franz Liszt?
Yes.
You think this lousy grey cat is Franz Liszt?
Not the actual man, obviously, but some sort of reincarnation.
Are you feeling quite well, Louisa?
Perfectly, thank you. A little confused, of course, but who wouldn't be after what's happened?
And what exactly has happened?
Louisa took a deep breath, and as calmly as possible she told him. He listened to her account in silence, a thin, cynical smile on his lips.
So that's what all this fuss is about, is it? My dear Louisa, it's perfectly clear what's happened. You've gone and found yourself a trick cat.
A trick cat?
Yes. He's been taught what you've seen by his owner.
Don't be ridiculous, Edward. How can anyone teach a cat to recognise different composers? Even you can't do that. Yet every time I play him Liszt, and only Liszt, he goes into raptures.
Every time? He's only done it twice.
Twice is enough.
Come on, then. Let's see him do it again.
No, Edward. I'm not making Franz Liszt jump through hoops for your entertainment.
My dear woman, he's just a cat.
I know, Edward. With the soul of Franz Liszt.
She picked up the cat and started to nuzzle it.
Oh, if only you could talk. The things you could tell us. The people you've known. Schubert and Chopin, Mendelssohn and Grieg and... My lord, you are Wagner's father-in-law. I'm holding Wagner's father-in-law in my arms.
Louisa, pull yourself together and stop talking twaddle.
There's no need to be so aggressive, Edward. If you can't find anything constructive to say, you can go back to your bonfire and brambles and leave us in peace.
Thank you, Louisa. That's just what I'll do. But shall I tell you what I think?
He stopped at the French windows and glared at her.
What?
I think you should get yourself to a doctor, and pretty damn quick.
The light was starting to fade when Edward returned from the garden. He found his wife sitting on the sofa with the cat on one side and a couple of books on the other. She had a third volume open on her lap.
Did you know that Theodore Roosevelt was once married to Julius Caesar?
I beg your pardon?
I popped to the library whilst you were gardening and took out 2 biographies of Liszt and a copy of this.
A brief history of reincarnation. Oh, for pity's sake.
The author's a little dogmatic, and I don't agree with all his assertions, but he's uncovered some fascinating facts. Apparently, Cicero came back as Gladstone, and Attila the Hun as Mrs. Patrick Campbell.
Does he say anything about great 19th century composers returning as domestic pets?
As a matter of fact, he says that it's impossible for a human being to be reborn as an animal, but as I've said, I don't agree with all his assertions.
Can we stop this now, Louisa? I've been out in the garden all day and I want my supper.
My God, the warts! Huh? How could I have forgotten?
Edward was in the middle of lighting a cigarette when his wife leapt up.
The warts? What warts?
Franz Liszt had warts all over his face. He was famous for them. Here, see for yourself.
She thrust one of the biographies at him. A picture of the composer in extreme old age scowled out from the cover in stern disapproval.
His students used to grow little tufts of hair in the same places as a mark of respect.
What has that got to do with anything?
The hairy students, nothing at all. But the cat has also got bumps on his face, remember?
She picked up the cat and with her long pianist's fingers began a gentle examination.
There. He's got one on his temple and two close together under his chin, just like the picture.
It's a coincidence. It doesn't prove a thing.
Very well, then. If the warts can't convince you, we'll try something else. According to the biographies, Liszt loved all Chopin's works except one, the so-called governess scherzo. He hated that.
And?
I looked out the music earlier. Watch.
Before Edward could say another word, Louisa crossed to the piano and started to play. The cat's reaction was as unusual as before. He jumped up as though he'd been stung, and for more than a minute he paced back and forth on the sofa, his body trembling and his tail thrashing angrily from side to side. Then suddenly, horribly, he started to howl.
Well, what do you think?
Well, it's quite amusing, I'll grant you that.
Amusing? We have Franz Liszt staying in our house and you think it's amusing?
Now, Louisa, let's not get hysterical.
I'm sorry, Edward, but I can't help it. When I make my findings public, there isn't a composer in the world who won't want to come and sit at his feet and ask what he thinks of their music.
Sit at his feet? He's a cat.
Edward turned to look out at the garden where the brambles were still smouldering on the bonfire.
No, I'm sorry, Louisa, but I'm not having it. I'm not letting you make the pair of us look like perfect idiots.
Edward, whatever do you mean?
You found yourself a trick cat. Fine, keep it if you must. I don't care. But I don't want to hear another word about your crackpot theories. Do you hear me? Not another word.
Louisa slowly got up and took a step towards him.
Damn you, Edward. Damn you to hell. For the first time in our lives, something exciting has happened and all you want to do is ruin it.
That's enough. I know you're at a funny age, but really...
A funny age? You pompous, self-regarding windbag. A miracle has taken place right under our noses, but you're too scared to admit it because you think you'll be laughed at.
Edward crossed the room and took her by the shoulders.
Stop it, Louisa. I'm hot and I'm tired and I'm hungry. Will you go to the kitchen and make me a meal?
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. You must be famished.
It's better.
You haven't had so much as a saucer of milk since you got here. Stay right where you are, my darling. I shan't be too long.
When she reached the kitchen, Louisa decided that she'd make something special.
A lovely cheese soufflé. Edward doesn't like them, but that can't be helped.
And to go with it?
How about an avocado and grapefruit salad? I don't suppose the maestro's ever tried an avocado before.
The thought of watching him eat his first one filled her with a half-forgotten sensation, and she realized with surprise what it was.
I'm happy. Who would have thought it? For the first time in ages, I'm happy.
When she'd finished in the kitchen, she put everything on a tray and carried it through to the living room. Edward was just coming in from the garden.
I've made him his supper. Where is he?
Where's who?
You know who.
Edward carefully locked the French windows and walked across the room to fetch himself a cigarette.
Ah, yes, that's right. Well, I'll tell you...
As he bent to light it, he noticed she was studying him.
Just went out to check on the bonfire. Still going fine.
Her eyes travelled over his body and came to rest on his hands. He glanced down at them and noticed for the first time that one of them had long red scratch marks running across the back, from knuckle to wrist.
Yes, I know. Those brambles are terrible. I ought to wear gloves.
Edward?
Louisa? Whatever's the matter? What's wrong?
Edward!
Oh, for pity's sake, Louisa, will you come and sit down and stay calm? Louisa! Louisa! Louisa!
And today's story is Neck.
Lionel Sturridge first met Lady Turton at a cocktail party in Chelsea. He was talking to the host when a tall, strikingly handsome woman swept into the room.
I say, isn't that Sir Basil Turton's wife?
Yes, come on, Lionel, I'll introduce you.
Sir Basil Turton was a wealthy newspaper magnate, and until a year ago, a dyed-in-the-wool bachelor. Then, quite suddenly, he'd startled his friends and annoyed all the women who still hoped to bag him by marrying the elegant, coldly attractive creature who was drawing admiring glances from all over the room.
This is Lionel Sturridge, Lady Turton. He writes a society column for one of your husband's rivals.
Really? How interesting.
She didn't seem very interested, though. She was already looking over his shoulder at the other guests.
Is your husband not with you?
Basil? No. He's down at our country estate supervising the installation of a new sculpture. Henry Morgan, or whatever it's called.
Henry Moore?
Yes, that's it. An ugly great lump of wood with a hole through the middle.
Personally, I rather like his work.
Really? Do you know much about modern sculpture?
Not as much as your husband, I'm afraid. I hear he's amassed quite a collection.
He's got dozens of the things all over the lawn. You must come down sometime and visit.
Hello. That might provide him with some good material.
Thank you, Lady Turton. I'd love to. How about next weekend?
Certainly, if you wish. It's up to you, Mr. Sturridge.
Her eyes briefly came to rest on his, then moved off again.
I really don't care.
Sturridge took Lady Turton at her word, and the following Saturday afternoon he drove down to the Turton estate.
My God, will you look at this place?
He'd seen pictures of it in magazines, but they hadn't prepared him for its scale or beauty. There were lakes and mazes and great stone fountains.
And a wonderful topiary with yew trees shaped to resemble giant chessmen.
And on a lawn in front of the house itself was the most magnificent sight of all. A collection of work by every significant sculptor of the last 100 years.
Surely that's an Epstein. And a Brancusi. And that must be the new Henry Moore.
As he drove past the sculpture that Lady Turton had so airily dismissed, he reflected that it must have cost her husband a fortune.
Not bad for an ugly great lump of wood with a hole through the middle.
To his relief, Sturridge found he was expected. A young footman escorted him to a room in the east wing, where, after a reviving bath, he began to dress for dinner.
Who is it?
It's Jokes, sir, the butler. Lady Turton asked me to inform you that she will be serving drinks in the drawing room at 7 o'clock precisely.
Thank you, Jokes. I expect she and Sir Basil have a good many people staying with them.
No, sir. Not this weekend. Apart from yourself, Major Haddock is the only other guest.
Major Jack Haddock, the playboy?
Yes, sir, I believe that's how he is generally described. He's a very great friend of her ladyship and quite her favourite partner.
I beg your pardon?
At bridge, sir. No doubt you'll be facing him and her ladyship across the card table after dinner.
Oh, dear, that's not very good news. I'm rather out of practice, I'm afraid.
In that case, sir, perhaps I might offer a word of advice. Her ladyship always overbids her hand.
Really, Jokes? I think you're forgetting yourself.
Oh, forgive me, sir. I assure I meant her ladyship no disrespect.
Sturridge wasn't so sure. He'd noticed that whenever Jelks mentioned Lady Turton, he looked as though he'd swallowed a wasp.
That's all right. We'll say no more about it.
Thank you, sir. And you won't forget, will you? 7 o'clock precisely. Her ladyship's rather a stickler for timekeeping, I'm afraid, and it doesn't do to keep her waiting.
Mindful of the butler's warning, Sturridge entered the drawing-room on the stroke of 7. Lady Turton, as glacially beautiful as ever, rose to greet him.
Ah, there you are. I wasn't sure you'd be coming, Mr.
Sturridge. Lionel Sturridge. I hope I'm not imposing.
I shouldn't think so. We do have 43 bedrooms, after all. This is my husband.
A small, pale-faced man emerged from behind her.
Basil Turton. I'm so very glad you could make it.
He was surprisingly shy and reticent for a press baron, but he had a lovely, warm smile, and when they shook hands, Sturridge felt an instant bond of friendship.
Don't just stand there like one of your sculptures, Basil. Go and fetch Mr. Sturridge a drink.
Yes, my dear, of course.
So, we have a journalist in our midst, do we?
Sturridge turned around and saw a heavily brill-creamed man with a pencil moustache smirking complacently on the sofa. Evidently this was Major Haddock.
Let's just hope he doesn't write anything nasty about us in his paper.
He'd better not do, Jack.
She smiled sweetly, but her eyes were cold.
Otherwise we'll write something positively scandalous about him in one of ours.
Dinner was a curious affair. Lady Turton sat with Major Haddock at one end of the table, while Sturridge and Sir Basil were sent into exile at the other.
I'm looking forward to showing you my collection, Mr. Sturridge. It's so nice to meet a fellow enthusiast.
I saw a good part of it as I drove in, Sir Basil. I thought the Henry Moore was especially distinctive.
Sir Basil nodded in agreement, but he seemed distracted. He kept on glancing over at his wife, who was laughing uproariously as Major Haddock told her a series of no doubt risque stories.
Excuse me, Sir Basil?
Yes, Jelks, what is it?
The editor of the Sunday Chronicle's on the telephone. He wishes to discuss tomorrow morning's leader column.
I'll deal with it, Jelks.
But he asked for Sir Basil, your ladyship.
That's because he knows Basil's too weak to stand up to him. Editors are like servants, Jelks. They need treating with a very firm hand.
And before anyone could say another word, she marched from the room.
Remarkable woman, your wife. Forceful personality.
Yes, Major Haddock, I know. She seems to make all the decisions about the running of my newspapers nowadays.
He turned to Sturridge and gave a sad little smile.
I'm not quite sure how that happened.
Must you always bid 3 no trumps, Basil? It makes for such a dull game.
After dinner, Sturridge was ordered straight to the card table, where, as predicted, he found himself partnering Sir Basil against Lady Turton and Major Haddock.
Forgive me, my dear. I'm sure I didn't mean to spoil your enjoyment.
May I refresh your glass, Sir Basil?
Never mind him, Jelks. Fetch me another ashtray.
Yes, your ladyship.
It was apparent by now that Jelks hated Lady Turton as much as he loved Sir Basil, and whenever he had to do something for her, he pursed his lips together in distaste, so that his mouth resembled a turkey's bottom.
You're to be congratulated, Sir Basil. You and Sturridge haven't lost a single rubber.
We were lucky, Major Haddock. Lady Turton still hasn't learned not to overbid her hand.
Really, Basil, that's enough. Isn't it time you went to bed?
Perhaps you're right, my dear. It is rather late.
I think I'll turn in too, if you don't mind.
Dear me, just a pair of us left, then.
Major Haddock stroked his moustache and gave Lady Turton another one of his smirks.
How will we amuse ourselves now?
Don't worry, Jack. I'm sure we'll think of something.
Oh.
After breakfast the following morning, Sir Basil invited Sturridge to join him for a leisurely stroll through the grounds of his estate.
My father bought this place before I was born. I've lived here my whole life and grown to love every inch of it.
Just then the sound of laughter floated towards them through the clear morning air.
Shall we rest for a little while and have a cigarette?
Sturridge turned his head, and in the distance he saw Lady Turton and Major Haddock. They were chasing each other through Sir Basil's wonderful collection of sculptures, treating each precious item like something in a children's playground.
Of course, the gardens are younger than the house.
Sir Basil, however, seemed determined to ignore them.
They were laid out in the 18th century by a man named Beaumont. I still have the bills he sent, if you're interested.
Thank you. They sound fascinating.
Major Haddock had produced the camera now, and was photographing Lady Turton as she draped herself across the sculptures in a number of faintly suggestive poses.
He knew when he planted the yew trees that they wouldn't amount to much for 100 years, but people had more patience in their planning back then.
Lady Turton had turned her attention to the Henry Moore. It was a heavy, horse-sized slab of wood with a hole in it and several protruding limbs. After pretending to ride it, side-saddle, she bent down to where the hole was and pushed her head through.
I'm particularly fond of yew trees. They're a very restful colour, don't you agree?
Despite himself, Sturridge was transfixed by the scene unfolding in the distance. Something had gone wrong, and Major Haddock was pushing and manipulating Lady Turton's head as it projected through the sculpture. Then he went round behind her and started to pull.
Oh dear. I've a feeling she's stuck.
Sir Basil finally acknowledged the situation.
She can't be very comfortable, bent double like that. Perhaps we ought to help.
Yes, perhaps we ought. Care for another cigarette?
Pull! Damn you, pull!
I am pulling.
Hello, what's happened here, then?
What do you think, you half-wit?
Her disembodied head glared up at him from the centre of the sculpture. She looked as though she'd been put in the stocks.
You'll have to cut this thing up. It's the only way.
Cut it up? Oh, dear. But it's so beautiful.
Look, Sir Basil, here comes Jelks.
I do hope I'm not intruding, but I noticed her ladyship's predicament from an upstairs window, and I wondered if I could do anything to help.
Yes, Jelks, you can fetch me a saw or something.
Very good, Sir Basil.
And be quick about it. I'm getting terrible cramp.
Now, my dear, do please try to stay calm.
Stay calm? That's your answer to everything, isn't it, you whey-faced ninny? It's no wonder I've had to look for excitement elsewhere.
Jelks seemed in no great hurry to rescue Lady Turton, and a considerable time elapsed before he'd returned.
I brought you a saw, Sir Basil, as requested, and in case a more radical solution is needed, I've also brought an axe.
Jelks offered Sir Basil both implements, but Sturridge noticed that he held the axe just a fraction of an inch further forward.
Like a conjurer pressing a card on an unwitting spectator.
Sir Basil took the bait and selected the axe. As soon as he touched its handle, he seemed to know what was required of him, and he sprang to life.
I'm afraid you're going to make rather a mess, Sir Basil.
Like someone who sees a child stepping in front of a car, Sturridge knew with sickening clarity what was about to happen. He closed his eyes, but even in the darkness he found he could still picture it.
Try not to move, my dear. I promise I'll be quick.
He pictured Sir Basil raising the axe high above his head.
The blade, glistening in the sun.
He pictured Lady Turton's eyes widening in terror.
No, Basil, don't!
He pictured the axe whistling down through the air. And he pictured Major Haddock turning away in horror and stifling a scream.
Jelks? I say Jelks? Jelks?
At the sound of Sir Basil's voice, Sturridge opened his eyes and returned to reality. To his relief, to his unutterable relief, he discovered that despite what he'd just been imagining, Sir Basil was still holding the axe at his side, and Lady Turton still had her head on. It was still protruding through the hole, too, but her face had turned a terrible ashy grey, and Sturridge realised that she'd been imagining the same thing.
Really, Jelks, whatever were you thinking of? This axe is far too dangerous.
Sir Basil returned the implement to his butler, glanced briefly at his wife, and gave a little smile.
Hand me the saw instead.
And in Neck by Roald Dahl, the storyteller was Charles Dance, Lionel Sturridge, Jamie Glover, Sir Basil Turton, Chris Emmett, Lady Turton, Katie Scarf, Jelks, David Ryle, and Major Haddock, Mark Heap. Neck was dramatised by Stephen Sheridan and was a peer production for BBC Radio 4, directed by David Blount.